1.
How dare you?
I
How
mean,
dare you?
Emily's not here, so I gotta
I
represent.
guess. I guess that's true. All right, so we're here with Terra Nullius, episode 18, but we don't have Emily, and so we're not going to do a normal session. This isn't quite a side story, we decided, but it is. So it's in like the regular continuity um of Terra Nullius, but we're going to focus on a certain someone who may have died last session. Um, and
Few
find
sessions
out
ago,
what,
depending on how you look at it.
yeah, and find out what he's been up to. Um, so that's fun. So I'm just gonna change in the overlays here. Okay. So I think we start off when we get the normal like Terra Nullius intro music, the credits, all that stuff, right? And we open up doing like the Saturday morning cartoon thing where like they roll back a few minutes and you see the last thing that happened. So we get the like previously on Terra Nullius, and then yeah, we see that whole scene with Calvitus at the end of last episode, right? So he gets bit by the snake. Everybody surrounds him, and then we get that scene where Ari puts the arrow in him. And right before Calvitus dies, he pretends to be Darius and falls to the earth. So I think we just see that, right? We see him fall and we see the look on Ari's face. And then we kind of like fast forward and we see the last thing we see in this like flashback thing is we see Raya standing over Darius's body with her hand axe and then like lifting it, right? And then it goes to black. And we come back again on and the eye shot, right? Like extreme close up on Darius's eyeball. And his eye opens, right? And yeah, Darius, the last thing that you remember, you were in a prism of some unknown substance trapped in a soundless and sightless void. And yeah, it was kind of the worst thing ever. And suddenly you're just not there anymore, and you don't know how much time has passed or where you are. But when you open your eyes, you just see like blackness. But then like you feel like you're on like a hard surface. And so like, maybe like put your hand down, right? And yeah, it's just some sort of like solid blackness that's not really any substance that you can recognize, really. It's just blackness, but it's like solid. Yeah, what do you do?
He, Darius like kind of sits himself up, and he just like sits there for a second. Well, this is a slight improvement.
Yeah, so you look around you, right? And I think like you see nothing, right? At first, like it's just like blackness, and you kind of like you can feel there's like solidity below you. But then I think you like smell something. You smell smoke.
What? Am I on fire? Am I in? No.
Oh no. Yeah, so right, we see Darius like freaking out, right? But I think what happens, right, is Darius, you turn as you're like freaking out, and
I think he like stands up.
yeah. And then suddenly, like as you blink, like you turn and blink at the same time, and then suddenly you're in the jungles of the New World, and there's a campfire in front of you, right? You're just like in a clearing, there's a campfire in front of you, jungle around you. And the smoke you were smelling was the smoke of the campfire.
Hell looks a lot different than I thought it would. Actually, Actually, this looks like the island, but you know, I'm not going to argue with it. And I think he walks towards the fire. Is there anything like cooking on the fire?
Uh, now that you mention it, yeah, and like maybe it was like maybe we as the audience see that there definitely wasn't before, but as soon as Darius thinks that there is, like there is, and you've just filled in the scene as you think, and so like Darius, it's always been there, right? Like of course it's always been there, and yeah, there's like it's a boar, right? Like just kind of like sitting on the spit. No one's like moving it, but it's there, and you realize that if you let it stay in one spot for too long, it's gonna get burnt. So.
Well, I mean, if no one else is going to, I mean, I'm just so irresponsible. I mean, what if there's a forest fire and he just starts turning it?
Yeah, sure. And I think what happens. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think like in just because it's Dream World, like he pops a chef hat on his head.
Right. Yeah, you have this little chef hat that appears. Yeah, so we see Darius just like happily like whistling to himself, like turning the spit. Yeah, and I think that's when Ari comes back from her scouting mission. I mean, and like Darius, you immediately fill this in, like you're like, oh yeah, that's where she was, of course. And yeah, Ari, you walk back into camp, and this is just like a normal day. You guys were exploring the island, right? Yeah. What do you do? You just see Darius churning the spit on this boar that you've caught.
Well, what I want to do is I want to go up to him and give him a hug.
Right.
And then say, "You wandered off again. Where did you go?"
Yep.
As if like that's the reason why like.
Perfect. Yep.
He hugs her and like he has a slightly confused look on his face at first, like this doesn't seem normal. But I think I'm okay with that right now.
Right.
And then she like shoves him away, like she normally would, and is like, "Seriously, where have you been?"
And he just kind of looks around and shakes his head.
You left me alone with Toity.
And yeah, you hear from the distance like the sound of bagpipes.
Yes, bagpipes are back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I don't know where I've been. I remember it was black, lots of black, much black, and there was kind of nothing. Like if you close your eyes, that's basically where I was.
So you were asleep?
I mean.
And then
maybe
Darius, when she says that, like you're like, oh, of course, duh, that's what it, of course, right?
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I guess I must have just dozed off.
Don't go wandering off again. How many times do I have to tell you that?
Well, there was that one time I wandered off, and then I came back and I had parent superpowers.
She just shrugs.
Yeah. So where's Toity?
And as soon as you say that, yeah, like Toity walks into camp with playing his bagpipes for all the world to hear.
Oh, there he is. I was afraid you lost your hearing. I've been playing out there trying to find you for quite some time now.
Toity, I always hear your bagpipes. They have sort of joyous noise.
I've played them for some time now. Was even playing your favorite song and you didn't come.
row your boat. Yeah.
That was it. Yes, that was it. We'll say that was it.
I think he starts saying, "Oh yeah, row your boat," and then like Willow starts appearing, maybe.
No, I don't think it breaks that much at first, okay. Like because that wouldn't even Darius like you would start to be like, well, something's up here.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, look, We've been looking for you for hours. No, how long have we been looking for him for? What do you say?
I mean, I don't
Hours,
think
yeah.
there was a designated amount of time.
Yeah, that works. You saying you've been looking.
I would
for
say
him
probably
for
we've
hours.
been looking for you for forever. Next time, don't wander off. I don't need to be left alone with Ara that long again.
Ari rolls her eyes.
I mean, I appreciate that you went looking for me at least.
I mean, of course we would.
Shake my head and I shake the fire, kind of like stretching out my feet and like drying off, putting my feet near the fire.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks for at least not leaving me alone with Tweety and Raya. But, you know, I know we had to leave Raya at the camp because Lord Navarro wanted her there, but still, like...
Would he know Lord Navarro was coming?
No, last time... Yeah,
Or maybe Captain... I don't
Captain
know.
Miggy. Just say Captain Miggy. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Captain Miggy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they finally got their book club started.
I mean, it's no... I don't care.
Yeah. So, you guys are like, you know, like just sitting there and stuff. And I think what happens is Buck flies over, right? And we see him kind of like land on one of the branches, and he like squawks at you, Darius, and like, you know, like he's accusing you like the same that Toity already did, like, how dare you, like we were looking for you for hours, sort of a thing, right?
Well, okay. You have to admit, it's pretty impressive that I managed to disappear from all of you for a few hours. I mean, that's impressive even for me.
Well, no. I was gonna think if maybe Dream 20 would question him talking to Buck, but probably not.
Yeah. So I think what happens actually is, and like I know, Alyssa, you're trying to like make it so that Raya didn't have to be here, but I think what actually happens is Raya does actually walk into camp. And I'm gonna play Raya's dream version in this.
Okay.
And so she walks in and she says, "Darius, did you wander off again?"
I guess I did. That's what everyone says I did, so that must have been what happened.
What? When are you going to learn? We're all worried. We all worried about you.
Oh, dang! I'm like, what would go on in the deep subconscious of Darius?
Yeah, I think she says.
WDD.
I think she says.
Just how deep is it?
I think she says. Anyway, well, we need to get back to our mission. We got a section of the island still to explore, right?
Oh yeah, Ari, do you know which direction we're going?
Yeah, we still haven't searched this northern region over here.
Well, so this is actually back in time, right, for Darius, because he doesn't know.
Right.
So I think you'd say
so
the southern
I guess
region.
the southern section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So because we just beat the cave.
Yep.
So yeah. So Captain Miggy wants us to continue to explore the whole southern section of this island.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone?
You didn't happen to get lost there, did you?
You shouldn't have to explore the whole island for us to do.
I don't think so, but you know what? I remember being really tired, and then
So you were sleeping.
I
You fell
was
asleep
sleeping.
under a tree again, Darius? Raya says.
I feel so bad being mean.
You what?
I feel so bad being mean to Darius.
Not being mean to him.
I know, but it kind of. It's like being so like. Mean.
Oh, you mean you
I
don't
don't know.
like teasing him?
Cody's not this. Yeah, it's like he's dead, and I'm making fun of him
Right.
for being dead.
Yeah.
You have to play the
It's
character.
awful.
Then.
I know. I just feel so bad about it.
I I think we should rest before we go.
We just rested all last night, Darius. And you
Oh.
apparently got another nap. We don't need to rest. We need to keep going. There's a lot to
Okay.
see.
Okay, let's go.
And I think we as the audience kind of see that Raya, like, I mean, Raya isn't acting like Raya would usually act. Like, Ari and Toity are more or less kind of by themselves. But when Raya says that last bit, right, like, there's a lot more to see. It's like a weird way, like, it's just kind of strange the way she says it. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And so I think, right, like, yeah, Darius, if you go along with it, I think everybody, like, heads out, right, to, like, go explore. Mm-hmm. So we start to see, right, the normal sort of montage sort of scene, right? So Ari's like going up front, Toity's playing his bagpipes, and I think what's happening is Raya's like teaching you how to read while you guys are like while you guys are walking along, right? And I think what happens, right, is we get this montage, right? So Darius is just like, you know, trying to sound out the words and stuff like that. But then there comes a moment where Darius looks down at the page. And he suddenly sees, like, I think what happens is, this is the kissing men, right? So, but Raya, like, turns the page, and then suddenly the page is just filled with one symbol. Just this one weird, like, New World symbol. And I don't think Darius recognizes it, but I think we as the...
Shabolba!
Yeah, we as the audience recognize it as the symbol for Shabolba.
Death is the road to awe.
Or Death is the road to awe. Yeah, it's that symbol. Yeah.
It's that symbol.
Wasn't that Shabolba though? Isn't that what Shabolba meant?
Means underworld.
Shabolba was different. There was
Oh right.
There was one symbol that meant Shabolba and one symbol that meant Death is the road to awe.
I forgot there were two symbols.
Yeah. They were connected, but yeah. Yeah, so Darius, you see that. I mean, this is still strange to you, even if you don't understand what the symbol means. Like, you're just like, wait, why is that in this book?
That doesn't look like the rest of them. That looks very distinct.
What are you talking about, Darius? This is the right symbol. Remember, it says death is the road to awe.
That is the road to awe.
And, like, you guys had just been talking about the scene where, like, one of the men was, like, saving a princess or something, right? And then suddenly, like, it's like as if this is the next page of the book, how Raya's acting about it, right?
So, he saves the princess and then death.
Of course. Death is always what's around the corner, Darius.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I think.
Yeah, Raya nods her head and says, "See, you'll understand. You'll get it. Let's keep going."
That is the road to awe.
Yeah, and so we see you guys like start continuing on, right, and walking along. I think you guys end up, and so this is like Darius's imagination. I think you guys end up like in a jungle. Part of the jungle, right? Because Darius doesn't actually know what's in the south here. So we're in some unknown jungle, and then you guys see this weird like overgrown temple, just kind of like in the jungle here. And you know, Ari, you're the first one who sees it.
Okay. I'm the first one that sees this temple.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll go up to Darius and say, Darius, look, do you see the temple over there?
Oh, yep, I see it. Good work, Ari.
What do you think? Should we try to sneak around it?
Maybe we should look around and make sure it's safe, and then
I think Raya cuts you off, Darius, and then starts like discussing a different plan with Ari. Right, like, and says something like, you know, I'll cast detect magic first to see if there's anything around here, right? And then like you guys just start like coming up with a plan and then completely ignore Darius.
Yeah, that sounds good, Raya. Let's detect magic, and I'll scavenge around it for a little bit, maybe. I mean, do I have to like roll stealth or anything like that?
No, I don't think you do.
In Darius's imagination.
I don't think so. If anyone, yeah.
Our ability chest just like void in this world for all of us except
I don't
Darius?
think so. Like, if something comes up where there's an actual like challenge that can happen, I'll still have you guys roll as normal. But like this
Well,
there's
Darius
nothing
and
really.
World, replace your D20s with a D100.
But you still only need to get like a DC 20.
See with the
Yeah. Oh, I rolled an 85.
I scout the entire world. Yeah, so I think Ari like starts doing that. Toady, what are you doing?
Probably blasting my bagpipes.
Right. And I think
Probably when I've also cast detect magic, blasting my bagpipes, like walking around the place at the same time. I mean, this is a dream.
Yeah.
Tony's gonna be acting strange.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Darius. I mean, I think it comes to your mind, Darius, where you're like, wait, what about stealth? Like, what if there's a thing in there? Like, why is everybody being so loud?
I mean, I'm usually not opposed to just running in and killing everything, but I mean, I am opposed to just running in and killing everything. I've learned my lesson at least better, but still, a little bit of stealth. I mean, Ari.
I mean, I'm stealthing.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'm like scolding Toity. I'm like, Toity, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Shut up. We're trying to stealth around this thing.
I
I think I want to grab your bagpipes.
Oh,
Can I roll
Yeah.
strength check?
Go ahead and roll.
Like opposing
strength.
check?
Opposing athletics. Yeah.
could I roll a dex check to get out of the way?
Yeah. You can do dex. Yeah.
For
Athletics.
back.
Yeah. You can,
Oh
whoa.
no! I take those away.
Is there a chance?
Wait, can I roll acrobatics on the off chance I get it?
Yeah, you can. You can still do that. Yeah.
That one.
That is not happening.
Yeah, you could have. You could have gotten a 19 or a 20. Yeah.
I take those bagpipes away.
Yeah. So Ari supernaturally like snatches these away from you, Doity.
I think that makes sense, right? I think I
Get
supernaturally
back my
take
bagpipes.
them and throw them up into a tree.
Yes, yeah, like just perfectly like toss them up and they just like hang by like one like strap.
What do you do that for?
We're trying to be stealthy.
And that's what I was doing.
Bard stealth works differently.
I want that on.
If come to me, they can't see you.
Yeah. You guys can hear the music, but they can.
Ari just shakes her head and goes, "You're such a child."
Honestly, just because I'm short doesn't make me young.
No, but you sure act like it.
Act like a young boy than an old hag. I'm sorry.
You just call
I didn't want to say.
I think
I
he
did.
I think
Not
he
me.
just did. Oh gosh. Oh wow.
Ari really wants to punch you right now.
I mean, you can certainly do that.
Can I do
Jordan?
that?
Yeah.
Jordan said we would be argumentative.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so what do I do? Do I do like an unarmed strike?
Yeah, I guess.
Or because wait, what's
just-
a punch? What's the punch action?
That would
Punch.
be an armed
I'm gonna
strike.
look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Unarmed
Strike.
strike is it's a simple weapon, so just roll your strength. I
Just
think
roll my
no.
strength.
Well, there's probably a bonus that. Go ahead and just roll as if it's your sword.
Yeah, I think it's a strength check.
Yeah, roll as if it's your sword.
My short sword.
Yeah, and then
I think it's just a strength.
well, I mean, she has a base like attack bonus stuff too. So, yeah, just roll as if it's a sword, and then we'll
It's
just
a
do the
strength, though.
damage. Like,
Okay.
oh, I see what you're
If
saying.
she hits,
So short sword.
Yeah, just do that. It's fine.
12.
miss.
Yeah.
I don't hit you, but I try to punch you in the face and you duck or something. I don't know.
He's just a little too short.
Dodge out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so that happens, right? Yeah, Darius, do you like interject?
I think Darius walks over. Yeah, Darius walks up behind Ari and like reaches up and puts his hand on her shoulder and says, Ari, I know you're upset, but I think we need to start worrying about the temple.
Roll persuasion.
Yeah, Dad.
Worrying about the what?
The temple.
The temple.
Temple. I thought you said pimple. I was really confused what
Stop
reflection had to
worrying
do
about
with.
the pimple.
Dead Darius. Character sheet. Persuasion.
But by the way, after you tried to punch me, I probably just say, "You missed."
Yeah, I think very reluctantly she's like, fine.
I will talk to Toiti.
Oh, no,
Can I roll a check to try and get
I said, tell him not to call me an
Was
old
that-
hag anymore. I'm only 25.
What not?
I'm sorry, Alyssa.
No, Ari is
I
literally
felt so mean.
Ari is 25. So
No, I'm just like, I felt bad for saying that, but it fit well with this context.
no, it's
Can I roll a
That's
check to get
fine.
the stuff out of the bag? Can I roll a check to get it out of the tree?
Yeah, you could roll, athletics probably, or acrobatics, one of those.
Okay, acrobatics. That is better.
I think Darius tries to comfort her in something like, Ari, you and I both know you're not an old hag.
thanks, Darius.
Yeah, so Toity, I think it takes you a while, but I think you do manage to climb up the tree and get your bagpipes back. But yeah, it's like a process.
So, if Darius was going to say anything, it would probably be during said process.
Yeah. Toiti, I know that you and Ari don't really get along, but
I don't say.
As he's like, shimmying up the tree. Ugh.
maybe you could just, try to hear her a little more.
Or not when she's speaking all the time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, you're fine. I think maybe she could start speaking a little less, and maybe you could start playing your bagpipes a little less, and then maybe there will be a little less noise.
I turn over and say, I look to him, just turn back and going back to getting my bagpipes.
Yeah, and I think what happens is Raya walks over to you, Darius, and like puts a hand on your shoulder. She's finished casting the spell and says like, "Oh, don't worry about them, Darius. They're just acting like they usually act. There's nothing you or I can really do about it anyway."
Yes, I know.
It's hard not being able to do much, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard. It feels almost ingrained.
I know what that feeling is like, Darius. Don't worry. Maybe what's inside the temple will help us figure it out. Both yours and my problem.
What is your problem, Ari? I mean, Raya.
Really?
She looks down at you and smiles and says, "The same as yours, Darius. That's why I can relate." And then she just like walks away.
Oh, I have a feeling I know what's happening, but I'm not going to say anything.
Huh. Apparently she has a demon living inside her too.
I mean, she is a tiefling.
And I guess her parents are dead too. Man, she's got a really rough. She's got a rough life if she is really.
Um,
I feel for her.
okay, so I want to like scout around the temple. What do I find?
Yeah, so you scout around. I mean, go ahead and just roll a investigation, I guess.
Nope.
You don't find much. There's no like danger or anything like that that you can
There's
see.
no danger at all.
Yeah, no danger at all. It's just
Stealth?
surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like stealth isn't even necessary here.
Oh,
Tori, you can
great.
play your bagpipes again. It's fine.
I don't think Ari would
No,
apologize.
I'm
though.
just kidding. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, so I think Raya says like, well, it looks like we'll have to go in then.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what we're here for.
But remember, Ari, she looks at you sternly and like wags a finger at you. No taking from the dead.
I make no promises.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you guys head in. So I think what you see is a sight that's familiar to us as the audience, but Darius has never seen
Oh
before.
no!
This is going exactly where I was expecting it to.
So I put Darius on the map here. Let me give him sight so you can see.
Darius will greatly appreciate being able to see the beautiful flowers.
Mm-hmm.
For once in his death.
For once.
I was going to say for once in his life, but that's already ended. I'm going to play that card up so much.
George is gonna make us feel bad for the rest of our lives. This is why we need to get Darius back. It's that way he just can't play that card anymore.
I mean, he probably
Exactly.
still will.
Hey, remember that time I died and you guys, like, you know,
Killed me again.
I had no part in it.
Remember that time I died
Technically,
fighting
I
for
did.
you?
The time
That's
you
gonna be
killed
like-
me on this trip with you, Ari, and I died.
Well, technically, did he come? Didn't he like force himself to come? Essentially, I don't remember.
No, he basically I asked him to, and he said, "Yeah, I'll go."
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys enter into this like cavern thing, right? And you don't see anything at first, right? Because you have to go around the bend to do so. Are you just approaching like normally in stealth? I assume
I
just
think
like
normally.
normally. Yeah. Yes, you guys just
Yeah,
kind of like
normal
go forward, I
order.
guess. Yeah, so feel free to just kind of move yourselves forward. So, right, you guys are kind of like making your way through this cave. And I think like you're moving forward here. And I think Raya looks at you, Darius, as you guys are like walking, right? And she says, now, Darius, make sure that you don't walk off without us, right? Especially in a dungeon or a temple like this, right? You want to make sure that you're close by us.
I'll make sure to stay close by.
Thanks. I appreciate that. There's some things I think it would be better if we were all together to see.
What's that mean?
I tend to find it better when we stick together anyway. I mean, there was that one time with the weird flesh piles, and then the two of us were outside, and then two of us were inside, and that just did not go well.
No, it did not. It
I
did
literally
not.
watched that episode today.
So I think you're like saying that, right, Darius, as you turn the corner and then you see the beautiful garden, right, that lies at the bottom of this like spiraling cave. This glowing foliage, and yeah, I mean it's beautiful. Like Darius, you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
And he like steps close to the edge and just stares. That
Darius, what is that?
I don't know. It feels right.
Do you want to make a nature check?
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, I mean, you aren't familiar with glowing foliage because like it's not normally a thing, especially because this is like a temple and it's um like underground, and these are like trees and bushes and stuff, and they shouldn't be underground and still be able to like be alive without sunlight. But they're all glowing weirdly. The only thing I can remind you of is maybe like Darius. Once in like Moldova, he like found went to like a druid circle once, like a druid's grove, and like the trees were like kind of glowing there with fairy magic, but it's not quite that.
It seems it's natural, but it almost seems unnatural.
Buck squawks at that. And I think Darius, I think that's when you notice that there is a single small flower in the center of this whole grove, and it's your favorite flower. It's I can't remember what the name of it was.
Peace lily.
Yeah, the peace lily. Yeah, you see a little peace lily, and it's like glowing. It's in the center of this little grove.
Oh, it. Do you see it? The single peace lily.
And Raya says, "Yeah, I see it, Darius. I see it. I'm happy that you do too."
Isn't that your favorite flower?
It is. It's. I'm a little surprised that they happen to be here.
Me
I mean-
too. We should go look at it.
Yeah, let's get down and take a closer look.
Can we just go down?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys make your way down the spiral, and yeah, you get to the center there, and then yeah, I mean it's beautiful, especially up close.
I think Darius leans down and he starts to reach down and pick it, but then he stops just before, and then he just like lets go of it and stands back up. No, it's too perfect.
I didn't think, but you're right. Of course, Darius. Raya says. Why is this your favorite flower, Darius? Is it just because it's beautiful?
Can we have like flashback moment?
Yeah, sure.
Like a flashback explanation.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of flash back to Darius' early childhood. He's out walking in his mom's garden, and Darius says, "It was always my mom's favorite flower. She always spoke of how important peace was. That even in the midst of a great struggle and great storm, that finding peace and having peace was crucial, about how making peace with our enemies and with ourselves was so important."
That's beautiful.
Cody's going to speak up and say, "You know, Darius, it seems fitting that your favorite flower's a lily." Because as a low-key reference to the fact that lilies are used in funerals.
And maybe like Darius just doesn't get that, and it's just this remark that Toity makes.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you could make an insight check probably, but
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, do it.
I mean,
Yeah. So what I think happens, Darius, is it comes to your mind, right, as a possible explanation for why you just said that, but you're like, oh, I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, what would Toity mean? I mean, what would he be implying? That's
Maybe you take it as like an insult.
Yeah, maybe he's just calling you like
Lily livered.
yeah, something like that, right? And I think Raya is glaring at Toity when he's saying this.
But that's just normal, so.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I think Raya says, "You're not helping."
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that what we were doing here?
And I think she shakes her head and she says, "Yeah, you two, you're getting too much into the role." And then she looks at Darius and then says, "I'm really sorry for what has to happen next, Darius. I really am. But there's only so much I can do. Some of it has to be up to you."
Hold on. Everything that you just said and that little interaction, totally missed all of it because my internet was like.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she looked at Toity, Raya did, and said, "You're not helping." And then Toity was like, I didn't know that's what we were supposed to be doing. And then Raya said, "You two, you get too much into the role." And then she turned to you and said, "I'm really sorry, Darius, for what has to happen next. There's only so much you can do. Some of it has to be up to you."
Who said that to me? Raya. Or Ari? Okay.
I'm only speaking for Raya.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, and Ari and Toity, I think both of you get like a bad feeling.
Can I roll like some kind of insight to see?
You both can roll perception. Anyone can.
Perception. Okay.
Yeah.
What has to happen? Why are you apologizing?
Oh my gosh.
You with the nat 20s tonight.
That is the second one, yeah.
So, yeah, I think Darius and Ari both are very aware of the fact that the ground beneath the Peace Lily suddenly is giving way and something is coming out of the earth.
Is it a dragon?
It is.
No.
Don't make Ari face a dragon when it's not even real.
It's not a dragon.
Darn.
So I mean the stone around you, right? Like the whole cave is like of this like black obsidian, Darius, and it's like very similar to like Temperance, right? And I think what happens, right, is that underneath the soil that is like keeping these plants alive comes a larger chunk of obsidian, except this piece of obsidian is shaped like a person.
What
and,
the?
It looks like that.
What the heck? Oh god.
And it rises from the earth, and that is when we take our first break. We'll be right back with more Terra Nullius right after this. It's going great so far, guys. I'm excited about this. All right, yeah, we'll be back.